Good morning, everyone. Let's look at your markets for today. Today's video is a little late. We were out of power for about 4 hours, so lovely living in South Africa. Gotta love it. So let's look at, obviously we had the interest rate decision on the New Zealand dollar earlier this morning. I'm not sure why the Singapore dollar is in here. I don't usually watch that, but they had something. We had the Bank of Japan's governor speaking. A lot of stuff happened. German manufacturing PMI preliminaries, those are out. That's good. It's a pretty good figure. And then preliminaries on the pound as well. Monetary policy statement coming out in about 3 hours for Japan. That could get us some volume on the yen. And then Federal Chairman Powell is still testifying today. And we've also got crude oil inventories, as well as some PMI preliminary reports on the dollar as well. Could potentially give us some volume. Not too hopeful on that, to be honest. I think in the last few days, or maybe in the last week, could have been more already, the market is pretty much ignoring data at the moment, with the exception of unemployment rates and jobless claims. All the other data is just kind of irrelevant. So preliminary reports, I don't expect that to really give us anything significant. Maybe on the pound, but not on the dollar. And then the monetary policy statement on the yen, that should give us something at least. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it on the calendar. With the exception of Powell's testimony later today, I don't expect this, and the monetary policy statement for the yen. I don't expect anything else to really push us one way or the other. Let's quickly look at the technical summaries. We've got the S&P up 1%. Let me just change this to hourly. It's always confusing when it says buy on a 1 minute and then you think it's a good signal, but it's not. Okay, it's up 1%. DAX up 1.7%. FTSE 2.2%. Yeah, so it looks like the big sell-off is over. Euro stocks up 1.7%. I don't know if you saw yesterday, I had a huge sell-off in gold and silver. Now, I obviously called it yesterday morning. I already said that, there's going to be further move to the downside. So we'll look at, let's close that. We'll look at that quickly. Commodities, gold down 1.1%, silver down 3.28%. Obviously that we saw yesterday. Forex, we've got the euro, dollar neutral, everything's neutral. Okay. So really the only thing that was worth watching was commodities yesterday. And then obviously the dollar strengthened across the board, I think. So yeah, that's it for sentiment. Gold and silver down, and looks like everything else should be up. That means risk on, people, risk on. Okay, so let's look at the charts. Move over to the charts. Now, as you can see, it's almost at that line that I called yesterday. This is silver now. It's almost at that line. So we should see it move further to the downside, mostly because it stopped there. But if you take that line and look back to the left, you'll see that it was a significant resistance. Initial resistance turned support line. So it would have made sense for it to stop there, because that would have been deemed fair value. Now, I do expect this to trade to the side slightly until we reach this level. this trend line. We could still see some further sell-offs. This line could break as well, and then obviously I expect the trend line to be the next point for it to test. The trend line should hold. I think with the big sell-off we have, we're right at median at the moment. So just to quickly show you, if you, I'm already zoomed out, let's go to the 4 hour. If you take a standard deviation channel from there to there, before these big moves, let's say somewhere there, move it to before lowest point. Technically we should be putting it at the highest point. This was the initial channel. Now let's just do this so you could see what it was supposed to do. You see it stayed within it. That was the normal channel. That's what we expected it to keep doing. And then obviously the bubble created, and now it's selling off. And we're right almost, let's zoom in again. I think we're so close to the median level of that channel that it's actually quite scary. But yeah, I mean, we're very, very close to it. So this line would have been median as well for that initial channel. So that all together does show that it is at median. It's at fair value again. We could potentially just see it, you know, go sideways again, to stay within the original channel, and potentially this trend line that I drew in first might hold. This one, it might hold. So we could definitely see it go sideways. I expect to see it go sideways. You know, choppy range trading until it reaches one of these levels. So that's what I expect to see. It bounced off the support line. So you should see a move to the upside before it comes down again. So just keep an eye on it. It's not a reversal necessarily. I think it's just a retrace of or a bounce off a support line. Keep an eye on that. So if you're thinking it's turning around, it could go up again, I wouldn't take that risk if I were you. Just wait for it to stabilize first. It needs to. I mean, after a big move like this, it needs to stabilize. It tried, and then it moved a big move again. So similar to what you see here, a big move, stabilized, another big move. Then it goes crazy, and that's what you want to stay out of. But when it goes crazy like this, just stay out of it. You don't know what you know. You could trade it if you want to do like a sell stop or a buy stop somewhere, yeah, on either side of it. That's fine, you can do that, but just be cautious, because we could see something very choppy happening next. Okay, and on gold, we're right at the same level again, similar to what I just discussed on silver. I think, let's just zoom in a bit. There we go. Yeah, it bounced right off the actual trend line. So this should see it return to median, this level here somewhere. But this support level could turn resistance now. So more sideways movement with a slight move to the upside in the short term, and then potentially retest of the downside. That's what I expect to see next. So I just want to check this. Yeah, okay, that was a good little indication. Anyway, yeah, so I expect it to come up slightly and then potentially test the downside again. So again, potentially a ranging market, and be cautious. I won't necessarily get in now. The opportunity was when this happened, and again when this happened. You could have traded either of them, but right now, these arrows have stopped. As you can see, there's no more arrows. So whatever you want to do, now is not the time to do it. We've had significant sell pressure for a while now. And I think in the short term, so for the next, say, 5 hours potentially, that won't be relevant. So maybe just wait for it. It might retrace completely to this level, and then we could potentially see it go down again. So for now, I think just watch it, let it consolidate first, and then we can obviously look to enter the market again. If you are long term holding, then you're fine. If you got in there or there, if you got in there, I would have closed, at this line, like similarly with silver. If you got in there, this line, that price, it's where you want to be. So you could have potentially closed it out there. You could still hold it if it does reach this level. I'd close it out there if it does. But I think this move is exhausted, and it needs to consolidate, which means it could just go up and down and up and down and up and down now. So just something to keep an eye on. Okay, let's look at the Forex. We'll start with the Aussie CAD. We've got it moving to the downside significantly. Huge move to the downside since yesterday. So just take this out, preventing us from seeing what we want to see. So this is obviously following the big break from that trend line that it broke, and then there was significant sell pressure. But it seems to have stopped at this. This is a fair value price. This horizontal green line is a fair value price, which is based on the most volume traded at that price level. So it's a very key support level at the moment, and it is holding. So it's also the previous move's bottom, as you can see there. So I think for now the move it'll try to break it, and if it fails, we could see it go to the upside. But if it breaks through, we could see a further move to the downside. There is still room to go. I mean, price is over here. There's still a lot of room to go. So just because the line is holding at the moment, this specific level, doesn't mean it will always hold. It could just do what it did there, consolidate, and then long candle. So yeah, I mean, if you think it's reversing now, just be careful. Just be careful. It could still go down. I think this one looks the same. I'm not going to talk about it because it's more of the same. This one is a nice little range. I think we spoke about it yesterday. I drew in a line somewhere there, I think. But it's ranging at the moment. Had a nice move to the downside, and it reversed back up. So that's ranging for me. Potential further move. Oh, look at this trend line though. Just keep an eye on this trend line. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Watch that trend line. If it holds, it should go down again. You can also look to extend this. Let's array that. And then remove the short-term one. Oh no, it moved me away. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, I mean, we're overall still in a downtrend. So I mean, unless we've got a significant breakout here of the channel, I don't necessarily think this short long-term trend has ended. So yeah, I know that obviously with the New Zealand dollar having a interest rate decision earlier today, or this morning, the statement would have moved the market. So if it's more hawkish outlook going forward on monetary policy, that could have caused this move. That doesn't mean in the long term that the downward move on the Aussie is over. It just means it gets a breather. So this could still come down again. Just watch that. Yeah, the yen is still at the very low end of that channel, and everything else goes to hell. Then the yen is going to trade in its channel. So Aussie dollar, I mean, the dollar strengthened against just about everything like that. So you'll see it across the board. Could this potentially be the bottom? Definitely. It's been lower than that before, but it's also reversed just above or on this level in the past. So, I mean, if you draw this line in, not there, but this one, I mean, draw that line in, which was a significant level, then look at price and hello, it just reversed exactly where you wanted it to be. So for me, this should be an indication of it bottoming out. But with sentiment being the way it is, it doesn't mean that's going to change. So it could just catch a breather and then break that line completely and keep going. So I'm very cautious today to say trade risk off, when it's obviously risk on, which means the dollar is getting stronger across the board and the euro is getting stronger. So I don't know. It's a very risk on environment, which means that the safe havens should still be fine, but the greenback, which is a reserve, and the euro, which is also kind of a reserve, is going to see some interesting moves. I just want you to look at that. This could hold, and if that breaks, then I'll go long. Just remember that it should stop at this level. The previous support line will definitely turn resistance. So if it goes up, it should stop there. And then consolidate to the side a bit like it did there before moving further in either direction. Okay, pound dollar, as you can see, dollar got stronger, New Zealand dollar got stronger, dollar CAD, dollar got stronger, dollar Swissy in a channel, but the dollar got stronger. This is actually an opportunity. This is the first good opportunity I've seen so far, to be honest. Lowest point there, highest point there. Look at the channel. Just make sure it's it's standard deviation of 1. So if it comes here, I would look to go long on this, somewhere here. And if it breaks it, you can short it to this level again. Definitely something to keep an eye on. There's an opportunity finally. I've been worried about trading all these other ones, and it looks like this. That's just ranging. You need a breakout. This is just going insane. Not likely to stop. And same with this. That's also kind of a channel. You could potentially, but it's it's median at the moment, so there's nothing you can do now. But you could watch it and potentially later on, if it hits this, you could definitely go short on it. Especially if that level also coincides with this level. So if this moves to there, then I would short it. But look at this momentum candle. You can't go short on something like this when it's engulfing like 7 candles or like 10 candles. It's engulfing all of them. How do you justify going short on a candle like that? Now, sure, this happened here as well, but just after the big candle, there was a big move down again, and then another big move up, and then another big move down. So let's say you say, oh, I want to go long, and that happens, then you're screwed. Or let's say the opposite. You say, oh, no, I want to go short. I want to short it. It goes, and then the opposite happens and another big momentum candle pushes you up before you can even realize it's turned against you. I'd just stay out of it, to be honest, for now. Like, yeah, I spoke about this one, stay out of that. This one is consolidating, so wait for the break. This one I said we could potentially see a level to trade. If it goes sideways now, it could go up again. But look at this momentum. Momentum is pushing it to this level. The level should hold, but you know, if I was a gambling man, I would say short this, go against the trend, because look at this V shape. You have a V like that, that's usually a reversal. You'll see it everywhere. Look at that, you know, V's, but it could just be a V and then go flat again, like it did there. And if it goes flat now, it should go up again. So difficult to call or predict these things, you know, in these circumstances. That's the problem with big moves. You know, when you have great moves, the days after the great move are just so risky and so undecided for me. I'm like, it's a watch and wait game for me at that point. Similar to the US monetary policy of watching and waiting. That's how I feel about the markets today. So I might potentially not trade it at all. Kiwi yen, that's still going down in favor of the yen, so good for the yen, I guess. Yeah, here we'll wait for the break as well. I mean, there's really nothing to do. See if this level holds, and if it does, then you could go long. If the level breaks, then the channel level needs to break as well. And if the channel level breaks as well as this level, then you can short it. That will be my entry. So there's something to trade at least. The only opportunity I really see that's not making me cringe on the inside with the risk factor involved. Now, as I said, it is risk on. Risk on means dollar stronger. So, but sentiment can change anytime. So obviously here it was risk on, then it wasn't anymore. So when it's risk off, the Swissy will get stronger and you'll see a big move. You definitely see a big move. So what I would do is do this indicator, add my little friend. If I could just find it. I wish the MetaTrader 4 had a scroll button for the indicator list. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, you know, those arrows were all pointing up, and then it stopped. It stopped. So that means it's not going up anymore, which means consolidation, which is a potential reversal. Now, watch this level. That's all we need to do. We'll draw in a little V shape. There's our little V. And we'll just watch it, you know, if it breaks this line, did it draw the line now? I can't see a line there. Let's try again. There we go. If it breaks this line and the channel trend, then I'll short it. If both the line or the channel holds, that is support trend line of the bottom of the channel. If they both hold, then I would go long again. But at the moment it's retesting. Oh, it did draw a line there. Let's remove it now. Really? There we go. So yeah, I mean, at least we've got an opportunity. I would rather want to see this go up, to be honest, because if you think in terms of Elliott wave, you know, we've got one leg. I'm just going to draw it in roughly. Second leg, third leg, and then fourth leg. Now the fourth leg can't be higher than this level there. And if that happens, this is way too rough. But yeah, you get the picture. The whole point is that that's an Elliott wave formation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 should shoot up again. So let me see if I can draw in 5. What we'll do is it shift? No, it's not shift. Control. Yeah, it's control. That's what I'm looking to see on this today. So, or hoping for. It doesn't mean it will happen, but this is what I'm hoping for. And this could be up a bit, can't it? There we go. Yeah, so we might see that, and then I'll be happy, because if this level holds, we'll see a push to the upside, and that'll be an easy trade for some easy money. Now, you could say that then it's breaking the channel, it's a breakout, but bear in mind that this is a standard deviation channel. There's no gospel that says it needs to respect it. If you look in terms of the actual trend line, you'll see two trend lines. The short-term one, which is, let's put it there and then ray it, which is the right way to do it. Short-term trend, which is this one, and then the long-term trend, which goes from here somewhere. Put it on there. There. So you've got two trend lines, a confluence of them all at this level, and then obviously the channel as well. So yeah, I want to see it hit either this little point there, so it needs to go sideways for that, which seems unlikely. You know, if it goes sideways, it seems unlikely that it'll hit that confluence. But if it goes down, it could potentially hit this confluence on, well, this significant point again, or significant resistance turned support level. That's what I want to see, and then go up. That'll be in line with the overall uptrend. So, you know, I'd be happy to trade that. Even though it looks like a breakout, it'll probably look like a false breakout. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to see. I think we'll see a move there. So let's remove this again. A move down there, and then a move up again. And yeah, that's going to be my price level. Let's just draw a line in there and see if it's some significant level, or has been in the past. It has been. So that's definitely a price that I could be happy with. Let's put it right on the doji there, and then we're happy. So I'm pretty confident in that. Pretty confident in that. So big move to the downside will follow. Will be followed by a move to the upside. Yeah, all good. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping to trade today. I don't know if it will reach this level. And if it doesn't, then obviously just go long on it. You know, as soon as it goes through this line, just go long, and you should be fine. For the same reason, this line is our target price, so 92500. That's your target price. So 0.92500. That's going to be a target. If it breaks this line to the upside, go long. If it comes down to here, go long. And then you should see it reach that level. We'll draw in our little arrow so that we can see if we were wrong or not. Just unray this. Yeah, so there won't be a video tomorrow. I don't know if you know, but South Africa has a public holiday tomorrow. So I'm not going to make a video tomorrow. And I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to trade today. I want to trade this, but I need to see the move when it happens. And I'm busy with coding and other things at the moment. So there's a big chance that I'll just completely miss this. Now, you could always put an alert on to let you know when something's starting to move, or if it reaches a certain price, you could easily just alert on that. But I'm not going to do that. You know, if I see it, then I see it. If I don't, then I don't. I don't get pull my hair out for trades that I miss. You know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But anyway, I think that's it for today's video. If there's something you want me to specifically discuss or make a video about, please drop it in the comments. And if you like the content that I'm providing, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't just subscribed already. And also remember to hit that alert bell so that you know when my videos go live. It is still, I still do release it prior to the US Open. So even if it's slightly late like today, there's still significant time for you to see what it's doing. Or see what I expect it to do, and to maybe keep an eye on it and see if I'm right or wrong, because nobody's right every time and nobody's wrong every time. When I make calls like this on the charts, although so far I've been right most of the time, I've also been wrong recently. Actually, it wasn't too long ago that I was wrong. I think in last week I had a wrong call. And that happens, you can't get it right every time, and that's okay. The key is always to remember your risk-reward ratio, put in those stop losses, don't get greedy, and don't panic if it turns against you. If you have a stop loss, you've already calculated your risk as a percentage of your equity, so you should be fine losing that money if it hits your stop loss, because it's just a small percentage of your equity. You're not risking too much. So move that's a drawdown should not make you panic. That's the key. I think if your trades are making you panic, then make them smaller. Decrease your lot sizes to decrease your, shall we say, your risk, and also your levels of anxiety, because those two really do go hand in hand. If you can't put tighter stop losses and you have to make them much longer, be sure to have a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio always. So let's say it comes down to this level today. If it does come down to this level, then obviously my stop loss would be just below this level. Now, if that is the case, let me just put on a little indicator there, just to show you. Let us say that, for example, now. No, don't move my line. I grabbed the line with the indicator, can you believe? Unselect the line and then grab the indicator. There we go. Yeah, I mean, if you can see this, we want to go long, but we want to go long as a pending order at this level. Well, no, the blue one is the level. So we want to go long there. 694, 694. We want to enter there. So our stop loss would be at this level somewhere. So if your risk percentage is, say, 3%, most people do 3% or advise 3%, then your position size, it calculates it there. I got this indicator online and it's free for MetaTrader 4. So you can just go look for it, position size calculator, that's the name. And it calculates the exact position size you need to take. If you want to decrease your risk, you make it 1%. That's a good move as well. If you want to increase your risk, 5% or maybe 10%. Now you're getting to extreme levels, but even at 10%, if you calculate the stop loss beforehand, you're going to lose 10% if it triggers that. but your potential take profit must also be at a level that's better than 2 to 1. So there we would put a take profit 1 level with a risk reward of 3.29 or whatever the case may be. You might bring it down slightly, to ensure it triggers. So somewhere there, then you've got 3 exactly. That's a good place to go for it. And then potentially split your trade. So instead of going 10%, well, let's say you want to risk 3%, but 3% says you need to go in at 22.79. Why not open 2 trades? That's each of them half of this. So, and then on the first one, you go, say 11 lots, and then cash it out there. And then the second one, also 11 lots, you only cash out there. Then at least the first one, you've got a 3 to 1. You've made up the risk for both of them with one move, plus some profit. And then the second one, you'll move to a break even in the event that it turns against you. Once it's been profitable, if it then turns against you, you'll be safe because you've already taken, the 3 to 1 ratio profit. So then your second trade could go for the higher level, which is less likely to be hit, because this thing can suddenly range. That always isn't a possibility. This could suddenly start ranging and not hit that level. So then if that happens, you've hit the profit level 1 with half the trade, which means you've made up for the cost of both positions plus a little bit of profit, with still the potential of more profit on the other one. So both of them have a 3 to 1 risk reward ratio, and both of them, if you only cash out one of them, well, this one's going to have a higher, the second trade will have a higher risk reward ratio. That'll be like 5 rewards for every 1 risk. So, I mean, it's just something you should think about. Splitting your trades is a great way to some people call it easing into the position or easing off and stuff like that. Scaling down, scaling in, and stuff like that. I just say split the trade, take profit where it's going to hit with a guaranteed profit. You'll start feeling a lot more comfortable with those longer runs and letting them go where you expect them to go. If you've already have some money in the bank on half the trade, the other one can do whatever it wants, because by the time it reaches there, you put in your break even, and no matter what happens, you're always in the money. You could even move that break even to the next level, and if it comes down again, it'll trigger that level, and you still have made a 1-to-1 ratio of profit there. But I mean, that's for you to decide. It's just my opinion and my advice on how to do this. I do think this is going to move to the upside from this level. If it breaks this line, you should see it move there. Let's draw that in as well. If it does break this line, I'm going to go long, and if it doesn't, I'll go long at the next level. But anyway, so that's it for today's video. Hope it helps. Good luck and enjoy.